Now we've got to talk about the Guardians. We are guardians of the dream.
Defenders of the dream.
Defenders of the dream stand together as family. Yes, right. The race to world first is going on. Wow.
Instant dollars popping off.
Wow. Drink your energy drinks and wear your esports jerseys. Get ready, gamers. It's time to, guys. I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I mean, okay, basically.
So rude.
Basically, the only thing that I care about is that EU wins. And it is no shade on Liquid. However,
EU. Echo Boys grip.
Echo Boys are great.
And it's not even...
See, do you know what it is, right? I think it's like Team Liquid have got so much corporate backing and money, you know?
Yeah.
That in my head, it's like, I mean, Echo are obviously not the underdogs here.
That's what I love about it. Their attitude makes them feel like the underdog all the time.
I feel like Echo are just a bunch of wee shites. Just a bunch of fucking rapscallions. And, it's like Team Liquid, it's like, if you turned around and told me they had a training house, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Whereas Echo does just kind of feel like of a crew.
Yeah, that's why I like them. I get it's like it's a complete cultural difference between EU and NA and also the two teams, but it is like Echo are the lads. And a lot of that comes down to, I think, their production. And this is one thing that I've said this before every other race that I've been talking about. But like I can't remember the other guy's name. But Mitch Preheat and the other one that they showed them do a lot. They are so funny consistently. And they do such a great job of production that I'm like, I don't really care about the race that much. And I don't even really like watching the gameplay an awful lot. I'm kind of there for whenever, you get to the last couple of percentage of a kill and it's almost there, or seeing the boss the first time is cool. But the actual, I'll do a pull and change a small thing doesn't interest me super hard. I'd rather do that if I was playing. But the way they handle production is always astounding to me. They literally, they put on a good show. They're good entertainers every time. And that's what I like about it more than anything else. Yeah, I think I don't even know if there's a whole pile to talk about regarding the race. The only thing is, obviously,
it is the biggest push week of all push weeks.
Liquid have now caught up to Isn't Dollars, but Isn't Dollars blasted through the first 6 bosses and just everyone, people joking. Well, I mean, when they got 5 out of 9, they were like, well, I mean, best of rules, they win. Which I think is interesting to see that, but I guess that comes down to a problem of blue shoe for sure. Very good. Oh, where's the early shift? Oh no, the early shift didn't get the first kill this time. Sad. Buffed on heroic frag. Okay, yep, sweet.
Interesting.
That's fine.
But basically, the story here is the big guilds have been doing splits. The poor bastards.
I love
and that
splits.
means that the likes of Instant Dollars.
Split.
That sounds really... The likes of them. No. Yeah. That means that, they've been able to go and sort of sweep up all of these. I think the expectation, though, is there will be some very, very hard gear walls, between, somewhere between Smolderon and Frack, which means that those who did the 3 days of splits... God, that sounds miserable. And I'm sure none of those, actually, from what I understand, they all hate the splits as well. It's just they're only doing it because competitive advantage, which obviously they're going to do because they'll need that gear for Farak, especially if this is going to be a one. Do you think this will be a one reset job?
I have no idea. I've seen people say it looks to be because of how quick Instant Dollars kind of blasted through and there's nothing really to stop them outside of whatever happens in Farak. People suggesting there's probably a mythic only phase as well because of how the cutscene cuts off at the end. I think there may be some mythic bonus stuff there. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think Blizzard increased to 7th boss's HP when Instant Dollars killed the 6th. Yeah, that's frustrating. And even then, I don't know how much people like a 9 boss raid that's 8 pushovers and then the actual last boss is a massive wall. I think that's a bit of a... It's a bit kind of awkward.
I saw Max did a tier list, and Tomb of Sargeras was in there in S tier. So we all know who enjoys a good ball busting.
Absolutely. The other thing is that
for clarity, Tomb of Sargeras had was it 3 wall bosses? At the very least, Oh my god, was it Fallen Avatar or was it Maiden? Was it Avatar? No, Avatar was a big bastard. And I think the RNG on Kill Jaden certainly well, I don't know, like if you're a therapist, I'm pretty sure that Kill Jaden RNG was good for you. Good for business.
Good for business, yeah. Yeah, no, the other thing is that...
Yes!
Well, the devs are just like, oh, we don't like that add-on. No hesitation, not worrying about it.
And so what have we've got from the makers of the add-ons? Restricting check interact distance and is item in range is massively disruptive change to be doing in a hotfix client build, especially during the race and with no warnings. Jarring to users too, add-on suddenly spamming excessive Lua errors in combat and requiring literally unpaid overtime to issue emergency updates because we're the ones getting spammed with complaints while they suffer through errors till we do so, and it's not a quick update. Drama? Dram, because in a way this is entirely it is a player and developer created problem. But it is not a player and developer collaborative solution. And that is probably why the developers are thinking like, oh, cool, a hotfix with no warning. Because as much as you may say like, all right, add-on developer, see, you've ruined the game and Blizzard have finally crashed. No, it's like they have hundreds of thousands of users who do use their add-ons and have been using their add-ons for years, and therefore you could say have a good faith expectation that Blizzard have came in and just shattered by throwing a hammer in it. I have to assume, like, look, honestly, we as a guild, like, some of us know what's going on, but generally we just jump into all of this blind. So I have absolutely no idea what Mythic Farak does, but perhaps we can assume that these would have allowed for add-ons to be overly powerful beyond what the developers thought was cool.
And maybe not even just powerful, maybe just interacted with their design in a way they didn't want.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, oh, well, you're doing that. Well, we want you to have to think about this specifically. In the same way that people talk about it in like just different, like the other game has the thing about like, well, where does the challenge come from? And the challenge comes from trying to remember what you do next while you're playing. Whereas in WoW, that's not really been the challenge as much. It's been a little bit more immediately reactive, at least historically, as far as people have played. It's, oh, this happened, now go do this, in a pretty simple way. So it's kind of interesting. I don't really know. Like, it's obviously they should have done this in the patch ahead of time. So they kind of scuffed it here, but at the same time,
Sam Altman's been fired.
All right.
Sam Altman fired as CEO of OpenAI.
Fired?
Is leaving after a deliberative review process by the company's board.
That can't be good, right?
Lamau! Oh my god, the world coin man is gone. Anyway, sorry, back to World of Warcraft.
Something chat's saying, which I think is interesting, which is talking about raiding being competitive versus cooperative. And it's a cultural difference, right? Like, you say, remember when raiding was you getting together with your guildmates to take down a boss, and it didn't matter if you were very good, Techno Spice. And I think, like, there's definitely a case of there's elements of the community that are moving towards being more success driven, but I think you can still have that with a guild. And that's not to say, well, obviously skill issue, just find a guild. But I think it is to look at the race to world first and say, oh, well, that's poisoning the game's thought. I don't think so if you're doing normal heroic. If you're doing Mythic, then I guess there's maybe a case of like, but then Mythic, the problem with Mythic is it's not necessarily the culture, it's the time investment makes people want success out of it more than anything else. Versus if you're just goofing about back in the day. I think there's a lot more, especially like in video games in general, I think there's a whole lot of like reward-oriented behavior as opposed to play-oriented behavior, which is why if I could do one thing to save video games, I would go back in time and the first person who had the idea to implement achievements, I would gently dissuade them from doing so.
Oh, a gentle dissuasion. Matt, you have learned the art of respectful restraint.
I have threaded many needles with utmost precision
Into the skulls of your enemies.
directly into the point of the spinal cord that would end them painlessly.
It's do you remember back in the day when people would be like, hey, if you buy this game in the bargain bin at GameSpot for everyone in the States, you could get 1,000 gamer score for like £5.99. That was like totally a thing back, because like I was Xbox instead of PlayStation, and people actually, like, whenever I was a kid in school, people like straight up literally they fucking cared about gamer score to the point where they would like try to find video games that were really, you know,
what
it's
was
like
the game? Was it Viva Pinatas or something else?
Oh,
there was some.
I don't know,
was
but there's a bunch of them.
The Avatar game was one as well. I think it was like free 1,000 gamer score.
Was that the Korra game from Platinum?
No,
that was way
it was
after.
way before.
Yeah, no, because TB did a video on that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh my god, can you?
Oh yeah. It was that. Yeah.
Man, okay. This is really controversial.
Let's go.
No, it's not really that controversial, but some people will find it to be very controversial. I prefer. I think Korra's a better character than Aang. I prefer Korra. Now, I think. By the way, I like both characters a great deal. I think they're fantastic. I like both Avatar shows. I think Last Airbender is a vastly superior show to Korra, though I think Korra's a better character. Bolin had potential, but as it stands, they need to delete Bolin. I'm pretty sure chat's just exploded. And the best character in Last Airbender is Katara.
You're smoking something today, mate. Yeah, that's a pretty split chat.
Good.
There's a little bit of 100% agreed based. You're broken. There's a whiny little 4 stars, unsubbed, unfollowed. Rip Bozo, Belliers into muscle mummies as a character.
Hey, what's wrong with that? Come on.
It was a statement, not a judgment call. Get this tough slander off the air, Zuko best character.
Why do I feel like it was a statement, not a judgment call, is somehow the most damning and judgmental thing that's ever been said in my direction?
Not a single person said Uncle Arrow. Come on.
Oh, man, that fucking, after, that season 4 training arc, it's just Uncle Iroh gets more ripped every episode. Man.
Yeah.
Korra, what's that when you know Vang? Oh,
very good.
You're doing a joke.
Cool on P.
But hey, there's way more Avatar content coming from Avatar Studios, done by the actual Avatar people, not by the Netflix, who I profoundly trust to do nothing unless Mike Flanagan is involved, and it's horror.
I think we're enabling chat to be a little bit too much sometimes.
Oh man, yeah, like, I mean, if you watched that show when you were like too young, Azula would have really messed you up pretty bad.
I'm not going to say when I watched it.
The thing is, they could continue it because all the comic stuff where like Azula totally, she fucking loses her babs. She goes insane because she can't handle, you know, how stuff goes down.
I can fix her.
Just reminds me of another time that somebody I know said, and that is something that I cannot repeat on the show because it involves real life.
Very good.
But that whole I can fix her meme, that is like actually some of the funniest shit.
I know. I said multiple times a day.
Yeah. Now I have a slight suspicion.
Or you could say, I don't know. Sometimes I can fix her. I also like to say I can't fix her, and that's what's good about her. But no.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So I like to think sometimes that this is World of Warcraft.
What?
This is a WoW ramble that we're partaking in.
Oh yeah, so it is.
So hello, fellow WoW players.